The ledge. You're cold calling, somebody picks up. You hit them with your pattern interrupt. You might say, I'll be honest, it's a sales call, you can slam the phone against the wall or let me have 30 seconds. You might say, hello, my name's Jack calling from Wham, how the bloody hell are you today? I strongly advise against saying the latter. So somebody picks up and their gut instinct and their chimp takes over. And the first thing that leaves their mouth will leave their mouth and fly out without any thought. Who are you? Why did you call me? A sales call about what? Where did you get my number? Who am I? Why did you call me? What's a cold call? What day of the week is it? There are many different questions that a prospect might ask you when you hit them with your pattern interrupt. Now today I'm going to teach you what you can do to bypass that. And it comes in the form of a little phrase called the ledge. So the ledge is one of my favourite things in sales because everybody feels like when you're asked a question, you have to answer it. So you hit them with your pattern interrupt and somebody says, where did you get my number? And you have to go into a big rant about how you've bought their number from a data provider, and by the end of it they're pissed off and they don't want to speak to you anyway. The ledge buys you time, okay? So think about it like this. When somebody asks you one of those questions, what happens is adrenaline starts to take over. You start to feel the blood rushing from your feet up to your head. You start to feel anxious, you start to feel nervous, and because the blood is running all around your body, you start to lose consciousness and you don't really know what you should say. And that's why when somebody says, who are you? You say things like, I'm Wham, I'm George Michael, who are you? And you start to be a bit balmy. What you need to do is you need to have an Uno card, and that's what we call the ledge. That no matter what anybody throws at you, you can throw this card down and you know that you've got time to regain consciousness and you can start to think about what you're going to say next. So you might say, I'll be honest, it's a sales call, you can hang up or let me have 30 seconds, completely up to you. And they say, well, who are you and where did you get my number? Their chimp has taken over. Now it's time for you to play the ledge card. Look, I'll be very honest, it is a sales call. I don't know if that makes you want to slam the phone down or let me have 30 seconds. So it's now time to play that ledge card. It's a good question. Look, let me run through in 30 seconds, and if by the end I'm boring or it's not relevant, we can leave it there. Is that fair? Now there's many different parts to the ledge. The biggest part is you've got to acknowledge straight away. Whatever question they ask, that's a brilliant question. That's a really good point. That's a fair point. All of these things, acknowledge it straight away. That's a really good point. Then you want to hit them with the ask. You don't want to start pitching or asking them questions without their permission. So that's where you want to dive in and say, look, let me have my 30 seconds, and if by the end it's boring or it's not relevant, we can leave it there. When you start to say things like if it's boring or if it's not relevant, that feels like a fair trade-in, and you can inject different elements of humour. If I bore you to death and make you want to slam the phone against the wall, you can hang up there. Is that fair? Fair. That is the last part. Is that fair? So that's a fair exchange. Look, I'll run through it quickly. I'll run through it in 30 seconds, and if by the end it's not relevant, we can leave it there. Is that fair? The majority of the time, the prospect is going to say, yeah, that's a fair trade, I'll let you run through it. So just because they ask you a question doesn't mean that they are genuinely interested in the answer to that question. It is usually just a generic response to people cold calling you. Now, the disclaimer. If they ask you the same question twice, you always answer it. So if it goes like this, it's a sales call, you can hang up, blah, blah, blah. Well, where did you get my number? Look, that's a very fair point. Can I run through in 30 seconds, and if by the end it's not relevant, we can leave it there? Is that fair? Well, no, I want to know where you got my number. If you bypass that part, that's where it can start to get a little bit aggressive and it can feel unnatural. So if somebody asks you a question twice, be sure to answer it. That is the ledge. Take it, use it, do with it what you like. I hope that when you're cold calling, you find lots of satisfaction and it gives you an opportunity to have your 30 seconds more often. If you get that far in the call and you're still struggling, then it might be time to get in touch with us here at wehaveameeting.com, and we might be able to help you out. Follow, subscribe and like for more. Cheers.